Hi, I'm Rhonda Parmesan and you're watching News Cats. Protests are erupting across Israel, ignited by the tragic deaths of 6 hostages, including 23-year-old Hersh Goldberg Polin. He was taken hostage during a music festival in southern Israel that was held to celebrate his birthday on October 7th, when Hamas launched its surprise attack. As grief and anger swell in the streets, demonstrators are calling for accountability from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and a decisive response from the Biden administration. Following the recovery of the deceased hostages, President Joe Biden is ramping up efforts to unveil a final ceasefire proposal aimed at addressing the escalating conflict with Hamas, a mission filled with urgency and complexity. The protests, which have taken over major cities like Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, highlight mounting discontent with Netanyahu's management of the hostage situation. Demonstrators are demanding concrete action, not just rhetoric, as they seek reassurance that their government will prioritize the safety of Israeli citizens held captive in Gaza. As of now, 97 hostages remain in Gaza, including 7 Americans, 3 of whom are confirmed to be dead. The stark imagery of these protests, including slogans demanding "release our hostages" and "no more bloodshed," has become emblematic of the public sentiment that politicians are under increasing pressure to address. Staring down the protesters, Netanyahu has pushed back firmly against any calls for immediate concessions, insisting that Hamas must bear the blame for the deaths and that the responsibility lies with the terrorist organization to negotiate in good faith. In light of these developments, the Biden administration is determined to play a pivotal role in mediating between the involved parties, emphasizing the need for a robust response to the crisis. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and Middle East Coordinator Brett McGurk have been at the forefront of this effort, even engaging with families of American hostages during a personable Zoom call that underscores the human element at the heart of this crisis. President Biden expressed his outrage towards the brutal killings, stating, "The murder of Hersh Goldberg Polin and 5 other hostages was a brutal, barbaric act by Hamas terrorists. They will pay for these crimes." His deep condolences to Goldberg Polin's parents, John and Rachel, reflect a poignant human connection amid these tense negotiations. Recent history plays a crucial role in contextualizing the negotiations for a ceasefire agreement. Back on August 16th, the United States proposed a bridging deal that centered on a potential prisoner exchange in tandem with humanitarian aid for Palestinians, an agreement that currently hangs in the balance. Interestingly, the Philadelphia Corridor, a 12.4-kilometer strip of land along Gaza's border with Egypt, adds layers of complexity to the negotiations. Its strategic significance is not merely about geographical delineation, it's a critical touchpoint for security discussions, making any concession or withdrawal a topic of intense political debate. Netanyahu's administration has firmly stated their intent to maintain control over this corridor, fearing that any appeasement could lead to further hostilities. Time is of the essence, as the deadline for Israel and Hamas to respond to these proposals approaches within a week following their announcement. This ticking clock amplifies the urgency of the situation and demonstrates the importance of public sentiment in influencing governmental action. The widespread protests emphasize a collective demand for accountability from the leadership, echoing the desperate cry for change and highlighting a moral imperative for deeper, sustainable solutions during these challenging times. While individuals continue to gather in public spaces voicing frustration and despair over the ongoing conflict, their demands center on securing not only a ceasefire, but also a pathway to enduring peace. As discussions continue, the implications of Biden's expected ceasefire agreement extend far beyond the immediate crisis, with potential ripple effects expected in US-Israel relations. The public outcry for swift action may compel Netanyahu's administration into reconsidering its stance towards Hamas and the Israeli framework of security. While humanitarian considerations seem to often take a back seat, an impending ceasefire could open the door for crucial humanitarian aid to flow into Gaza, providing much-needed relief amidst the devastation caused by the ongoing hostilities. As tensions remain high, the international community's expectations loom large, supporting a hope that new dynamics may emerge following this announcement that aims to bridge the gap between warring factions. What are your thoughts on these pressing matters? Drop your comments below and let's chat. Achieving a sustainable agreement is not just about halting violence. It's about ensuring lasting cooperation, which could ultimately lead to healing in a region that has suffered tremendously. The stakes are significant, and all eyes are now on the next crucial steps towards a ceasefire. I'm Ron de Parmesan, and this has been another Newscat special report. Thank you for watching, and don't go far because another breaking story is right around the corner. Meow!